What is going on, beautiful people of the world? My name is Garrett Wolf, and I am the host of the number one podcast for people who are trying to go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs. I've built my body over the last 8 years, and in the last 3 years, I've helped hundreds of online clients shred unwanted fat and embody the best version of themselves. Now, let's jump right into today's show. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Alpha Movement Podcast. This is the number one show for people who are trying to go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs, all without giving up the most enjoyable aspects of their life. In today's episode, I want to talk to you guys about the only consistent way to actually be successful on a weight loss journey. All right, guys, this concept was kind of sprouted by a client's one of my clients had some sort of unrealistic reportings to me, and I was just like, looking at these reportings and looking at these data and just thinking to myself, like, there's no way this data could be true, because if it were true, you would be achieving fat loss. In fact, anyone in this planet would be achieving fat loss if they were doing the data recordings that I'm seeing from this client on their end. And this isn't like to call anybody out or to be like, I got you, like you're wrong, I'm right. It's just really to just point out some things that are you know, biological corrections, like things that cannot be changed. And what I'm talking about specifically is the law of thermodynamics, right? And that's calories in versus calories out. And so I want to talk about that, give you guys a little bit of my 2 cents about what might be happening with this person so that you may be able to apply it to your life and break through that weight loss plateau and finally start seeing some tangible results. All right, guys, you already know the deal. If at any point during this episode you enjoy what I have to say or you take some value from this podcast, please screenshot my face, share it to your Instagram stories, tag me at underscore Garrett Wolf, and I will reshare it to my story and send you a free gift. Other than that, guys, the only thing that will produce 100% of the time a successful fat loss journey is a caloric deficit. I think you guys probably already knew that. If you didn't, well, now you do. A caloric deficit simply means that you are burning more calories throughout the day than you are consuming. This is the law of thermodynamics, right? If you're burning more than you are consuming, you will lose weight. If you're consuming more than you're burning, you will gain weight. That is the evolutionary process. That is a law of physics, and nobody on this planet can break the laws of physics, the laws of thermodynamics. There's not one person who is a genetic anomaly who doesn't abide by the laws of thermodynamics. And if you truly don't, then you should go to the scientists and let them know, because there has never been a person in recorded history who doesn't abide by the laws of physics. If you could go against the laws of physics, you might be able to fly. Gravity may not apply to you. Again, you'd be able to consume more calories than you burn and still not gain weight. So if you're a genetic anomaly like that, go ahead and go over to the scientists and let them know so that they can do some tests on you and figure out how we might be able to implement your genetic abilities to the rest of the world so that we no longer have to abide by the laws of physics. But in any case, this client that I'm talking about, has been telling me that they have been consuming. So, to give you guys some context, we're trying to get this client to lose a dramatic amount of weight, 50 to 100 pounds in the long term. And when you have to lose 50 to 100 pounds, you get to eat like a decent amount, right? You get to eat like a decent amount of calories. You don't really have to go that low. But this person was telling me that they were having troubles eating that much food. And I was like, that's kind of weird. You shouldn't have troubles. That was like the first thing. I was like, that's kind of weird. You shouldn't really have trouble eating that much food considering your body weight size. Not to be derogatory or mean or anything. I'm just telling you how it is. It's like, considering your body size, seems like you've been eating more than this on a day-to-day basis for a long time. So I don't really see how you're struggling with consuming this amount of calories, considering you're in a calorie deficit here. And so they were like, yeah, I just can't seem to stuff my face that much. Like, I can't eat this many calories. So I need to cut the calories way down. And so, just to give you an example, they were at like, 3,000 calories. And they all of a sudden dropped their calories because they wanted me to make a bunch of adjustments to their diet, which I did. But they were like, it's still too much. Can't eat this much. This is what they said to me. They were like, I'm going to eat 1,200 calories a day. And I was like, listen, I gave him like the normal spiel. I'm like, listen, 1,200 calories a day is not sustainable. There's no way you can eat that many calories for weeks on end and actually be satisfied, actually be satiated. You're going to lose a ton of weight. You're going to be dropping like 5 pounds a week because of how drastic of a deficit you're in. It's going to be absolutely crazy, and it's not going to be something that's sustainable, and you're likely going to regain the weight. And so over these last 3 weeks, this client has been explaining to me that they've been eating 1,200 calories a day, but they also seem to think that they are not losing any weight. Now, mind you, this client isn't weighing themselves for me. This client has some serious mental struggles, a lot of mental barriers that they can't seem to break through, that they've been fighting with for a large majority of their life. And so that can be understandable, but they refuse to weigh themselves, and they're saying that they are 1,200 calories of consumption every single day and they are still not losing weight. And I basically said to this client, I'm like, listen, you're not a genetic anomaly. Like, you're not someone who can just not abide by the laws of physics. There's nobody on this planet who doesn't abide by the laws of physics. If you're eating 1,200 calories a day at your body weight size, you would be dropping pounds like you would not fucking believe. And so there's a couple things that I want to kind of touch on here and maybe kind of give you my 2 cents on what I think is going on and how I think this client could go about fixing this issue. So obviously the only way to consistently lose weight and be successful on a fitness journey is to be in a calorie deficit. And so if this person actually was eating 1,200 calories a day, they would be drastically losing body weight faster than you could fucking imagine. Like 5 pounds a week, I'm talking like serious weight loss. The scale wouldn't stop going down. Right, because I had them at 3,000 and that is still in a calorie deficit. Keep that in mind. This person is very overweight, right? So they get to eat a lot more calories than the normal person for a healthy weight loss journey. But they're like, I can't seem to stuff my face this much. I can't seem to eat 3,000 calories, whatever. I'm going to eat 1,200. I was like, I highly advise against it. But, however, if you want to go about it in this manner and you want to do some aggressive fat loss, then you should be dropping pounds quicker than you could not believe. And the problem is this person is reporting that they are not dropping pounds, but again, they refuse to weigh themselves. So there's a couple of things that might be going on here. Number one, this is the thing that I would bet my entire bank account is this person is not eating 1,200 calories a day. There's just simply no way, because not only would you not need to weigh yourself, you would just have to, your pants would start falling off. Literally, with the amount of overweight, like body fat that is on this person, your pants would start falling off. Your fucking your face would be leaning out. You'd be losing body fat everywhere. So I just don't think this person is eating 1,200 calories. Now, does that mean that they're lying to me? I don't think they're lying to me, and I don't think they're necessarily lying to themselves either. I think a couple of things could be going on. Number one, they're just mistracking their calories. Like, maybe they're not tracking all the sauces. Maybe they're not measuring, they're estimating on the measurements in their food. So really they think 1,200 calories, it's actually 2,000 calories, right? Or maybe they're, eating snacks throughout the day that they're just ignoring or not logging, or maybe they snack on some things at work, or maybe, there's the portion sizes that they're eating are not equivalent to the portion sizes that they're recording, right? These are a few of the things that I think might be going on. That might enable this person to believe that they're eating 1,200 calories a day when really they're eating more like 2,000, 2,500, or even 3,000. Maybe they're not logging the drinks that they drink because, people put sugar and cream in their coffee and they're like, oh, that's got nothing in it. Just forget about that. Or people might, snack on a few M&Ms throughout the day, or like there's some food at work, maybe on a table, like a community work table that's got some food on it. You eat a couple cookies or whatever, a couple crackers, don't log it, whatever. It's only 20, 25 calories, but then you do that over and over and over again. And all of a sudden you're not eating 1,200 calories a day anymore. Not to mention this person isn't weighing themselves, right? So they wouldn't even know if they were losing weight, let alone know like how many calories they're consuming, because they don't log either. That's the thing, they don't log. They tried to log and they were like, I can't do this anymore. And so the point is, like, guys, the point of this whole podcast is not for me to bash this client or for me to tell you like I'm right, you're wrong. The point of this podcast is to tell you that the only way to work 100% of the time, the only thing you can control is calories in, calories out. It's the only thing that's going to work 100% of the time for 100% of people. This whole thing going around about, is obesity a choice? Of course it's a choice, because if you don't abide by the laws of thermodynamics, then you are an alien. You are not from Earth, because people on planet Earth abide by the laws of thermodynamics, meaning if you consume more calories than you burn, you're going to gain weight. If you burn more calories than you consume, you're going to lose weight. And that is 100% true for every single person that is alive on this planet today. That is not something that can be ignored. There's like a 0.00000000001% of people who may have some sort of genetic disposition or something in their life that makes it so that they cannot lose weight. But I personally have never seen it. I don't even know what that disease would be called or what that genetic anomaly would be called because I've seriously never seen it. It's that rare to where nobody sees it. It's just kind of an idea. This is like an idea that there's some genetic anomalies that can't lose weight by some magician, dark magical power. But I've never seen it. Nobody's ever reported anything like that. I've never seen a video on it. I've never seen a podcast with somebody like that. And so it is not you. 100% of the chances is that it is not you. It is not me. It is not anybody watching this podcast or anybody that I've ever met on this planet ever. All right. So everybody abides by the laws of thermodynamics. And so if you're coming to me, the point of this podcast is if you're coming to me telling me that you're this overweight, you're like 100 pounds overweight and you're eating 1,200 calories a day and you're not losing weight, I'm here to tell you that you are not eating 1,200 calories a day. And for whatever reason, you might be misreporting, you might be snacking, you might be drinking calories. For whatever reason, you think you're eating 1,200 a day and you're not. And you're not, hard stop, period. Because if you were, you would be losing weight quicker than you have ever imagined possible. And that is simply because of the laws of thermodynamics. That is why you are not eating 1,200 calories a day. So the point of the podcast, again, is just like, if you're in a calorie deficit, you will lose weight. It is really that simple. You can either increase your steps or you can decrease your calories. You can increase your cardio, you can increase your work output, or you can decrease your calories to kind of get this energy balance, this energy equation correct, and then you will lose weight. It is that simple. There are no exceptions. You do not have to overcomplicate it. And that's part of the job of being a coach, right? I'm here to like make the equation simple. I'm here to like help you figure out where you're going wrong in your life. And for me, as a coach, as this person's coach, this person being my client, I'm here to tell you, if you're watching this podcast, there's absolutely, positively a 0% chance, a 0% chance that you're eating 1,200 calories a day, because if you were, you would be dropping pounds quicker than you've ever thought possible. And if you would just take the time to weigh yourself, maybe you would see that you lost 10 pounds. Maybe you would see that you lost 15 pounds over the last 3 weeks, instead of kind of doing all this guesswork and thinking this, maybe that, I'm not losing weight, I am losing weight, whatever it is. If you're eating 1,200 a day, for pretty much any person, even an anorexic, skinny, like 5'5" person would lose weight on a 1,200 calorie deficit. So for someone like that who is 100 pounds overweight, to say that they're eating 1,200 a day and they're not losing weight is completely absurd. It is completely not true. It is haram. All right, guys, there's a 0% chance that that's possible, and that's because of the laws of thermodynamics. And so at the end of the day, the only way that you will see sustainable fat loss 100% of the time is if you put yourself in a calorie deficit. And if you think you're in one and you're not losing weight, then I'm here to tell you plain and simple, you are not in one, because if you were in one, you would be losing weight. All right, guys, that brings us to the end of today's podcast. I hope you got some value. If you did get value, please screenshot my face, share it to your Instagram stories, tag me at _Garrett Wolf, and I will reshare it to my story and send you a free gift. Other than that, guys, it has been your boy Garrett Wolf. Let's get ourselves in these calorie deficits. Well, actually, it's winter time now, so if you don't want to lose weight, I'm going into bear mode here pretty soon after this show. I'm going to be trying to bulk up, gain a bunch of weight, get a little fat, get a little pompous. We'll see what happens. We'll see what's good. In any case, guys, I will see you all in the next podcast episode. Peace, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Hopefully you got some value. If you did get value and you want to learn a little bit more about how you can go from saggy flabs to six-pack abs, just head over to my Instagram at _Garrett Wolf. DM me the word six-pack and I'll reach out to you and see if I can help. Again, thank you guys so much for tuning in today, and I will see you all in the next podcast episode. Peace.